Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of the Scrap Sheet. I'm your host, Jimmy, and today we gonna be breaking down and recapping and reacting to UFC 327. What's been going on with the MVP promotion Netflix card because they just had their press conference, and then of course the UFC Winnipeg card happening tomorrow in Canada. So, without further ado, your new light heavyweight champion of the world, Carlos Ulberg, gets it done on one leg, which is absolutely absurd. And it was confirmed by his team today that he has torn his ACL. He did it on one. He knocked out Yuri on one leg. That was absolutely phenomenal. They did say if he would have lost that, if the fight would have went to the car, or if that first round would have ended, excuse me, sorry, getting all my words jumbled together. If that first round would have ended, they would have thrown in the towel. So Yuri would have won with a doctor stoppage. But you know how Yuri is, man. He left his chin in the air. He pointed down twice. He said he tried to he wanted to give him a like. No, you don't do that for your opponent, man. It's kill or be killed in there. He was trying. I get it. He's like an art of the samurai. He's all about honor and this. Then he said he felt bad about Mercy. I was like, bro, you threw your hand down twice. You pointed down not once but twice, man. So if you're gonna point down, you got to throw. And he just got caught lacking on a check left hook with on one leg by Carlos Oberg. That was absolutely insane. I don't know what happens to Yuri next. And then with this Oberg injury, where does this leave the light heavyweight division? Are we gonna have Costa versus Ankalaev next? Because Costa just absolutely torched. Speaking of, yeah, let's just go into that. Paulo Costa in his debut at light heavyweight looks like he should have been here for a long time. Absolutely just smoked Azamat, bro. Azamat looked slow. He looked sluggish. He got tired, and his he just wasn't able to put him away. And Paulo was stayed there, and he kept with it until Azamat was gone. So I mean, that's just another one up in the books. He said he wants to fight Hamza and drop back down to 185. I don't think he needs to do that. I think he looked great at 205. He needs to stay in that weight class, right? Because he feels it out good. He's so drained at 185. It's crazy how he even gets down there in the first place. He walks around at normal heavyweight weight. So the fact that he makes 185 is absurd. Um, and then what I mean, you got the biggest story of Josh Hokett cashes in on his antics. He gets himself a fight on the White House card after putting on what could be one of the best heavyweight fights of all time, if not top three, if not the best. They were just throwing nonstop action. Curtis Blades refused to go down, he didn't want to lose to Josh Hokett. He kept it in there the entire time. He was he was throwing, but he wasn't landing the clean shots. Josh Hogan was just tearing him up on the feet, flipping them off mid match. It was insane. I did not see that coming. I thought Curtis could actually, you know, humble the guy because he ain't fought real big heavyweights like Curtis Blades before, like what Curtis Blades has seen in the UFC. And Hogan cashed in. You got to take a gamble on yourself, and he did. Talking how he is, doing his little gimmicks, his Vato guy, then his shy guy move. It's pretty entertaining, honestly, and it's what the heavyweight division needed. To be honest with you, just a jolt of fresh life ever since Cyril Gahn took out Tom Aspinall's eyes. Just diabolical, by the way. And we got new news on Gable Stevenson coming over. He's going to be debuting on International Fight Week. Crazy. That's going to shake up the heavyweight scene a lot. So that's going to be exciting. Um, what else happened? Dominic Reyes. It was bad fight. It was not a that was not a good fight. Johnny Walker, Dominic Reyes. It was a sparring match. Uh, they're just tapping up each other. I honestly thought Walker won, but Reyes pulled it out. As someone who picked Reyes, I mean, I got it right, but I didn't really think I got it right in the moment because I thought Walker won that. But hey, Dom Reyes still winning. I don't know what you do with him. You could give him someone after what Khalil's done, or because I know Khalil's scheduled to fight out. Forgot who right off the top of my head, but you could give him the winner of that, or you can give Jamal Hill still out there. So there's still ways to go with that. Cub Swanson in an absolute swan song is in his career. Just like I thought it would be, man. KO, first round, just absolute dominance. Nate the Train just got smoked, man. I don't know where he goes from here, man. Nate's been in wars and he's just keeps on getting put out, but the UFC legend Cub Swanson goes out on top, man. And that was good to see. I'm glad that happened. To be honest, he deserves it. And I'm trying to think if any what else was crazy. I mean, the card, honestly, 327 is probably 1B or 1A, depending on who you ask. Like this so far, this year, fight card wise, I would put this card up there. I would put UFC Seattle up there. Probably like my two favorite cards of the year, going out so far. So a lot of new life to see, and like we still got like we've had banger fights after banger fights. Like this has been a good season for UFC, man. A good first quarter. Now getting into quarter two. Just UFC 328 is stacked. Like I said, Josh Hockey versus Derek Lewis got added to the White House card. That actually, brings it to 7 fights, makes it more interesting. Another American's going to win, because both of them are American. Because I don't really see very many Americans winning on that card, man. Three max probably is my ultimate guess on that. But hey, it's just I don't know. I could be wrong though. We'll see. Next up, we have the MVP press conference. Ronda Rousey, doing her WWE promos. I wish I had Grim here because he had a comment. The crowd goes mild because I thought that was funny. She was all heart, all soul in that, and it was just not. I mean, she was right in one aspect, but wrong in the other. Like, I don't think Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano is the biggest fight in MMA, like at all. I think Kayla Harrison versus Nunes really beats that, but she was right is in the fact that that's going to be the most seen fight card just because it's on Netflix. You got it there just because the MVP does have Netflix, and a lot of good fights are on that card. Francis Ngannou making his I mean, he was fighting the PFL, so I mean, but he hasn't fought in a long time ever since his boxing thing, and I think he made it fight like he starched one guy. I think it might have been Lens too, so he comes back to starch him again. Like, so that's I mean, Francis Ngannou round one, that's gonna be crazy. I mean, you got Mike Perry versus Nate Diaz, that's gonna be crazy. You know, Never thought, it's been a while since Nate's been in the ring, and Mike Perry was off doing this BKFC thing, so that'll be interesting to watch. And Muhammad Makayev, the problem at flyweight, the guy who won, kept that got cut from the UFC just because his style wasn't very entertaining. He was a wrestling first. I'm pretty sure he's still undefeated, so he's fighting a UFC vet, UFC legend. So that'll be fun to watch to see how that goes. Um, I'm trying to think of other storyline news besides that Ronda press conference calling out, just going at the UFC for being, I don't even know. It was just kind of weird to me, to be honest. I think I don't know why Ronda's going at Kayla so hard. I feel like like she said, Kayla, like Ronda gave everything to Kayla or whatever, and Kayla was being disrespectful. I haven't really seen much on the Kayla side of her being disrespectful towards Ronda. But what you got to remember is Kayla's a two-time gold medalist, judo world champ, and Ronda's a bronze medal judo world champ. Both of them could probably smoke me. Not even probably. They would beat me up. But I feel like there's levels to the game, and I feel like if Kayla didn't get enough, she didn't come over soon enough to me. She was on Bellator for a while, and she was doing her judo thing for a very long time while Ronda was elevating the sport of UFC. Like I don't think women's MMA would be where it's at without the likes of Ronda Rousey. So she's got that. Like she was probably the face of the UFC, women's UFC, if not like one of the biggest faces of UFC, because she was just armbarring people, ragdolling people, like bodying them, and it launched her into her career with WWE after what happened when she got you know kicked her head kicked off by Holly Holm. But she had her movie, she did the WWE, now she's ready to return. And hey, I mean, 10-year layoff. It's hard to. That's why I'm not really too thrilled. Like I think that's my reason on why I don't think this will be the biggest fight in women's history. It's a girl or not a woman who's a decade off versus a woman who is 15 years off. And Carano was literally like her last fight, she got KO'd by Cyborg and then quit. And that was it. She never even made it into the UFC to begin with. Like she didn't even have the dominant run that Ronda was on it. So I don't know. Um, what else was there? Arman Sarukian got kicked off of a plane trying to trying to get to his RAF match. That was kind of funny, but I mean, what happened was he got kicked off the plane for being on his phone or something, apparently, and then he decided just to take a private jet instead. Very, very comical. Otherwise, in the news, Chad Ochocinco called out Israel Adesanya. Delusion. I don't know what that is. He Chad Ochocinco lost to a friend of the program, Brian Maxwell. You know, you've seen him on the pods. I think we're going to try to get him on this show in particular because I think he's returning to MMA himself. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to throw him that question, what he thinks of that next week, if we can get him on as well. And, I think, that's enough I can yap about what's going on before getting into this card. This card, it could be a surprise. Or one, like some of these fight nights, you never know. Like, you never know what's going to happen on the outside. They don't look as entertaining as they actually are until you square them off, until you're in the octagon. They can shock you. But without further ado, let's get into UFC Winnipeg Burns versus Malott. And the first fight, if my man JB could come up and when he's able to, oh, you good?
What up? What up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's got
Yeah.
to be my eyes and read off the card. I do know the first fight. It's Siraj versus Yanez. Yanez, UFC vet. Siraj, his first time. He's Canada's best featherweight, I believe. I think that they're in featherweight. I'm just not too impressed. I mean,
Bantamweight,
bantamweight. Yeah,
bantamweight belt. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so he's their best bantamweight. A bunch of these are Canadian prospects finally getting the call up to the UFC, similar to how we do on like the French card, the other cards, English cards. But Siraj, really good grappler, most known for his grappling. Where Yanez does struggle is against grappling, and but he's an all around guy, right? He's not bad at boxing, but he leaves his chin up in the air, and I seen him on the ceremonial weigh-ins, right? And he just did not look. He does not look UFC ready, man. I see Yanez. Yanez
Really?
is he's a sniper. Yeah, Yanez is a sniper, man. Yanez, he's a big dog in this spot just because he has a glaring weakness, is that in his grappling defense. But if Giannis can keep this thing standing, he can smoke Saraj. And I'm gonna pick the striker, and this is the classic striker versus grappler. Siraj being the better grappler. Most people are picking him by submission, and for you guys, I'm not. It's a very likely outcome, but I just seen him at the weigh-ins, and he just does not inspire confidence for me to pick him. I think Giannis is a dog. He's a really good slick striker. Uh, and the way Siraj just leaves his chin in the air, I feel like Giannis can find it. And every fight starts on the feet, man. And as if he can't get his takedowns quick and often, I think he's going to be looking up at the lights, and I think Giannis gets him out of there.
Man. Next fight in catch weight. We got John
Okay.
Castinda
Mm-hmm.
and versus Mark Volkanen.
So logged down. Yeah, yeah.
London.
Now listen here, John Castaneda, solid career in the UFC so far. He's 0-2 in his last two, but he's a vet of the sport. His all around game is pretty solid, right? He's got pretty good stand up, and he probably has the advantage here in the grappling over Vologden. But I mean, this prospect is insane. I know he has a 2-inch height difference, but when they were standing next to each other at the face off, it really didn't look that bad to me, to be honest. And Vologden, this is a really good, insanely good striker. He's got the karate style. Was in one of the best fights on Contender Series that I've seen, and he might have lost it, but he still got signed just because they saw talent in this kid. And He does take damage. He did take a lot of damage in that, so people are wary on that. But I just feel like Vologden can uh, kind of pick Castaneda apart. I know Castaneda's been in there with. Uh, I think he got smoked by Daniel Marcos. I know he lost to Gutierrez in his last one. So I just think Vologden is just that. He's a new fresh face to watch out for it in this division, man. And I like. I just normally like Jaw was the guy who would always with the fresh prospects and maybe talking to him and seeing him getting all these rises rubbed off on me because I like seeing it too. Normally I go with the scrappy UFC vet, but I don't know. I think Vologden's a little bit better in this. As long as he can stay off on the grappling, like because there has been matches where fights where Vologden has shown that he has a weakness to grappling and he sprawls really bad, but then other fights he sprawled really well against them. So it just depends on how his grappling stays. But if this is on the feet, I lean towards Vologden just being able to take him out.
All right, next up, we got women's flyweight. JJ Aldrich versus Jamie Lynn Horth.
Yeah, this fight is just it's a levels fight. JJ Aldrich is a little bit of a volume striker. She's an all right kickboxer, but she wants to fight at her pace, and her pace isn't is like is very slow. She doesn't like come at you. Jamie Lynn Horth is bringing power, bringing heat. The fact that the odds are this close, I think, is crazy. You know, Jamie Lynn Horth is an in your face damage fighter. And I just think she's fought the better competition, and I think she can. Get her out. She might be able to get her out. I don't know if she can. With that 25K bonus to finishes, you're seeing more finishes more often than not. People are going for it more. So she could, but I would lean more towards uh just straight money line. I think it's around minus 150. So and I think she'll look probably like minus 300 in this fight. I'm just haven't been a fan of JJ Aldrich much. Like in her last two fights, like Horth knocked out Teresa Bleda, and she was an upcoming prospect. And JJ Aldridge's last fight, she beat 40-year-old Andre Leah, and it was just a slow back and forth, like playing to her pace is what I mean by that. Like that fight was in JJ Aldridge's hands because it was, she controlled it. I don't think Jamie Lynn Horth is going to allow that. She's gonna power and brood her way through and get the dub in her hometown or home country. I should say. I don't know where she's
Um,
actually from. I just know that she's Canadian. That's what.
Next, we got women's bout Melissa Prodin
Versus
versus Derry.
Daria
Yeah.
Zelennikova. Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
not. Yeah, Melissa Croden is a good. She's pretty solid Muay Thai. Where I think this is going to be decided is if I just her grappling is it good enough to keep Daria down? Daria does struggle with grappling. It's just I just feel like her wins are just not great to me. I mean, Daria's only lost to Aline Perez, and I feel like Aline Perez would body Croden. I know this is like MMA math, and that doesn't really pan out half the time. It's just whatever happens on that day. But I think Daria is the better striker. What I worry about is the in the clinch pocket uh, type things from Croden to get her down to dump for her position. But otherwise, if it's on the feet, I think Daria's got it. She can pick apart her from range. Um, I think she's the slicker striker out of the two. So I'm gonna go Daria on the dog side. The thing is that what I worry about this is it's gonna go. I think it's going to be a decision, and going against the Canadian in Canada, yeah, that's a bit risky. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm on Daria. I think Daria can get it done.
All right. Next, we got in the heavyweight bout Tanner Bozer versus Gokhan Serpim.
Yeah, Tanya Bosner back in the UFC again. Never really know what you're gonna get with this guy. He's a good boxer, but he's just he struggles on the ground, and that's what Gokhan's good at is the grappling. I think Gokhan's just gonna bulldoze his way, get him on the ground, and then probably get a ground and pound finish. Uh, I don't think either of the like I don't know. I don't think too highly of either of these guys in the UFC like heavyweight division. The heavyweight division's so like up in the air. It's for we're just waiting for new life. And I think I don't think either of these guys are gonna be the next top prospect, but in this fight I would lean more towards Gokhan. I think he was on I think he was the Bellator guy and he was doing pretty all right over there. So I'm gonna lean him just because Bosner's I don't know he's just very one dimensional, and I feel like Gokhan is more well rounded.
Up next, middleweight bout: Julian LeBlanc
LeBlanc.
and Robert Valentine.
Now this one is Robert Valentin has been smoked in his UFC career. He got fed to Atuba Gautier, the next great prospect of this division. He got beat by Torres Fendi and he got knocked out by Ryan Loder. But listen, Julian LeBlanc is the most unathletic looking guy I've ever seen get in the cage, man, to make it a UFC. This guy, like, I mean, he's got decent fight IQ. He's just really slow. He's southpaw, and he's got a decent left leg, left kick that he can get up high. It's just I'm just not inspired. He got mogged. Isn't that what the kids are saying? He got mogged at the weigh-ins, man. And I just think Valentin is just gonna beat him, man. I think he's fighting for his job. Like I said, he got knocked out or he got beat 3 times in a row. This is my boy's career, or not, he's not really my boy, but you get the sentiment. Valentin's career is on the line and he looks ready. He was in shape, ready, and I think he's gonna be able to get the win here over LeBlanc, saving his career. I've never been less inspired by a guy than Julian LeBlanc, man. I swear.
That's hilarious. All right, up next we got Dennis. I'm not even a
Bazooka.
Bazooka. Okay,
Yeah,
and Marco Barbosa.
Marcio Barbosa. Listen, Dennis Bazooka, he's a good boxer. He's all right. But how many wins does Dennis Bazooka have, real quick, JB, for the people? 14, right?
He is 12-5.
Okay. So less than I thought. I thought he had 14.
Barbosa is 17-2.
Yeah, 14 of those are in the first round by KO. So he has more wins by first round finish than this guy has one fights. Um, I think that's enough breakdown. I think that's all you need to know. I'm going Barbosa by KO, probably round one. He could maybe Bazooka could maybe sneak out and make it to round two, but I think he's getting knocked out. I mean, it's this guy is a monster.
Oh yeah. Next up in the lightweight, we got Daigo Moises
Yeah, Thiago
and
Moises versus
versus Gage Young.
Gage Young. All right, so I've been going back and forth on this. I think it's going to be a decision win. Gage Young, he's he's a pretty good, well-rounded fighter. He's got a good wrestling and he's all right on the stand-up. Thiago Moises' jiu-jitsu is just nuts, man. It's just nuts. His striking's all right. He does have the UFC experience over Gage Young, but Gage Young has been steadily working his way up over these guys, trying to make a name for himself. My real pick is fight to go the distance, but if I had to pick a side, I would lean more towards uh the experience. Well, no, I'm gonna lean towards Gage Young just because Thiago Moises kind of sits in the pocket or he sits on the ground and he looks for to not get finished. His biggest accomplishment was he was able to take down Islam and not get finished by Islam. So yeah, he can take people down, but he doesn't like he's not a hunter. He's just kind of survived. I think he'll try to survive, and I think Gage Young will have more moments. So I'm gonna lean Gage Young by decision.
Up next, we got Jasmine in the women's flyweight. Jasmine
Just division.
Jaster, yes,
Yeah.
versus Karine Silva.
Yeah, Jazzy Jazz, man. You, I think she's the best Canadian prospect out of. I know she fights out of there. Um, you know, her losses, like she only really has one. Like she lost to Manon Fiorot, who literally was fighting for the title. Natalie Silva, who was literally fighting for the title, and Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez wasn't nothing to snuff at either. And Korean Silva's just, eh. She's just, eh. I mean, she's got pretty solid jujitsu for the first round, and then she gets tired. She doesn't have a gas tank, and I feel like Jazz. I feel like the question is not if Jazz is going to win, but if Jazz gets her out of there. So my pick is just Vicious, but I don't know whether to go by decision or by stoppage. So, but the pick is Jazz. I'm a lean decision, but I wouldn't be surprised. Karini hasn't been as she's a fighting nerd. She hasn't lived up to the fighting nerd standard that has been set before by her male counterparts. But hey,
Next
man,
you
it's
get
not easy. It's not easy being a fighter, man. It's not.
uh it doesn't seem like it. Up next you got lightweight bout Mandel Nalo
Yeah,
versus
versus
Shy
Jai.
Herbert.
Another one. All right, this guy Manelo. He's making his UFC debut. He's been on the Bellator scene. I believe he's like 14-3. I believe. Um, Something like that. He's fought decent competition on the scenes, um, on the regional scenes is what I meant to say. He's a bit chaotic in striking. Jay Herbert, on the other hand, is a slick striker, slick kickboxer, um, and he's like the definition of a technical fighter. He got slick kicks. We'll fight him from the outside. But I feel like Manila has this he brings a bit more chaos to the fight. He's got a little bit more he's a bit wilder with the strikes. And I think this matchup with a technical striker is probably to his favor because he's seen archetypes like that before in the regional scene, just the technical striker side. But he does also probably, I believe, have the edge in the grappling just because he's a pretty solid wrestler from what I've seen. Um, I believe he also trains out of the TriStar GSP gym. So, he's fighting good guys there all the time, getting good sparring sessions in. So my lean in this fight is him, but I wouldn't be surprised. Jack Herbert does have the UFC veteran experience. His, you know, most notable thing was knocking down Ilya, almost uh making a name for himself right there. But he hasn't really done much since then. So I'm gonna lean towards the Canadian. I'm gonna take Nello, and his nickname is hilarious too. Rat Garbage. That's crazy. What a nickname. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Mandel to get it done in his debut.
All right. Uh, Kyler Phillips versus Charles Jordan in the Batman
And
weight.
the co-main event, Charles Air Jourdain versus Kyler Phillips. Listen, Kyler Phillips is washed, man. He's not. I don't think he's all that, man. He's a striker from the outside. He's pretty solid from the outside. He's a good distance striker. Charles Jourdain, ever since moving down, has found his rhythm, found his mojo. And listen, man, I think he's gonna mix it up good. From all ranges, getting close, make Kyler Phillips break. And every time Kyler Phillips breaks, he'll jump to try to wrestle you. And Jourdain has solid jiu-jitsu, really good wrestling. And I believe his last three fights were ended by guillotine, where he submits people. So I think he's gonna wobble him on the feet, and then Kyler Phillips is gonna panic grapple and get himself choked out. So my side is Jourdain.
All right. You want to run through
The
ads
main
really
event.
quick?
Oh yeah, right before the main event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Not Move podcast is fueled by Dubby Energy. Smooth, jitter-free focus, and flavors that slap. Mango, berry, watermelon. Whatever gets you locked in, they've got it. Hit up Dubby.gg, use promo code NOTMOVED, and snag 10% off your order. Stay not moved, stay energized.
Known with Friday nights, 9 Eastern, it's the Dribble NBA edition on the Not Move podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
The Not Moved podcast drop is here. Snapbacks, hoodies, mugs, stickers, totes, everything you need to rep the convo everywhere you go. Limited run, unlimited style. Tap the link, fill the cart, and
tap into the Not Moved podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the scrap sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Need some new Not Move drip? The In the Wickets hoodie just dropped. Super soft fleece, heavyweight feel, and the official NMP patch on the sleeve. Tap add to cart, check out, and let us handle the rest. In a couple days, it shows up at your door, ready to rock. Rep the podcast from the couch to the tip.
Every Thursday night, the Not Move podcast drops a new episode of
In the Wickets,
our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus, a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern, or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same on.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
and
replays.
A whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind.
Ringside.
Oh, the Orphan Elimination Chamber tee just dropped. Fresh out the box. Look at this.
That print is nasty. Chain link O, silver hit. It's tough.
It's soft too, y'all. Fits right. Little drip for the Elimination Chamber weekend.
We rocking these all season.
If you're part of the Not Move fam, you already know.
Jump on it before it's
gone. Grab yours now at Not Move Shop.
Episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by the MLB Shop. They have every team's gear, from classic caps to World Baseball Classic hoodies, all official and all ready for game day. Tap the link in our bio to head straight to the shop and snag your favorite merch.
The drop is here. NMP gear built for every day and game day. Hoodies, mugs, and the Coach Common jersey in bold gold. Rep the movement. Feel the energy. Shop new arrivals.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Move podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, not moved. Stay not moved.
Attention Not Move Nation. Our first ever jersey has landed. The NMP by JB Sport Talk collab brings premium mesh, bold gold accents, and that undeniable game day energy. Plus, hoodie drop.
Today's episode of Not Moved is brought to you by Open Goal, the world's #1 backyard goal. If you love soccer but hate chasing balls into the neighbor's yard, this thing is a game changer. Its rebound net sends missed shots right back to you, and the side nets keep your landscaping and your windows safe. It's perfect for kids, for training, or just having fun.
Today's episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by Walmart.com. With our storefront in the Walmart app, you can get everything you need. Pick up or have it delivered.
We ordered dinner while recording, and it showed up before we wrapped.
Better good sweet corn and burrata ravioli.
Nuri protein drinks, even St. Patrick's Day treats.
Walmart.com.
Not Move, fam. Southgate edition just landed, and it's fire. Check the tee. Watch out for the skis and the wickets. Hockey stick, cricket wickets, all vibes. We got hoodies, mugs, caps, beanies, whatever you need. Cop yours before they...
At the Not Move podcast, just drop the gear.
Heavyweight hoodies, premium cotton, street ready.
Caps, mugs, and more. Every detail on point.
Whether you're hooping, tailgating, or just repping the pod, NMP fits the culture.
Limited drops. When they're gone, they're gone.
Cop yours today at notmoveshop.fourthwall.com.
It's time for the
It's
main
time.
event of the evening. Gilbert, 39-year-old Burns.
Fine.
Proper Mike Malott. I messed up his nickname. My bad.
That's hilarious.
I'm not a fan of Mike Malott after what he did to Kevin Holland. But he's fighting a 39-year-old Gilbert Burns who was good in 2019, 2020, 2021. That was when his run was good. That was 5 years ago. Almost 4 or 5. I want to pick Gilbert Burns with everything in my soul, because after what Mike Malott did, after his constant dick shots to Kevin Holland, and just getting that win really irked me, because no one should win like that. No one at all. In fact, if the refs were doing it what they are now, taking points left and right willy-nilly, Kevin Holland would have won that fight. Am I going to do it? Am I going to take 39-year-old Kevin Gilbert Burns to do this? I mean, he's crazy money. Like I mean, it has come down because Mike Malott was at -600. Now he's -300. The books have been bet down to pick more people are on Burns. It's just, I think if you're the safe play really is the fight to go to the distance, just because both of these guys gas, and if it gets past the third round, it's not going to finish. Um, I just feel like Gilbert Burns has the wrestling advantage, but like I said, he's old, man. He's one of the UFC vets. He's fought everybody and anybody. Um, and Mike Malott, he's a slick striker, man. He's good. He's in his hometown or in his home country, Canada, like where he was last time, where he got his win. I just, I'm gonna pick Burns, but I think Malott can win. I I just can't go against my heart with Burns, man. You know, there's picking with your head and there's picking with your heart. And I'm just not a fan of Mike Malott. So I'm gonna let my bias take over and I'm gonna pick Gilbert Burns to, do it one more time. Turn back the clock. He hasn't won a fight in a while. I think he's on a three-fight skid, a three-fight losing streak. He can snap it here because hopefully. I don't know. The thing is, like Gilbert Burns, he's a good striker and he's a pressure grapple. What he does with the grappling is where he'll have the advantage. It's just he's gonna be so slow compared to Mike Malott out there, man. Mike Malott's younger. He's got the probably the crispier strikes now. Um, it's gonna be a hard watch. I'm gonna go with Gilbert Burns, but to avenge Kevin Holland for what he did to him. But Kevin Holland did call Mike Malott out. It's like I want my rematch. So who knows? He said if Gilbert Burns wins, he wants him. That'd be an interesting fight. Either way, I'm a lean Burns, but I wouldn't be surprised if Malott win. I'm picking a lot of dogs, man. This is my dog card. I've stamped it as my dog card. Dari is a dog. Giannis is a dog. Vologdin's a dog. Valentine was a dog until it got switched, and I probably switched for good reason. He absolutely looks massive compared to LeBlanc. Um, who else was a dog that I picked? Oh no, I got multiple dogs. I think the Huskies are out in Canada, man. I'm going with the dogs. I think that's it for me, man. We're gonna be back next week breaking down another card. Maybe one of our co-hosts. I think Brian Maxwell gonna come for that one, JB, next week. We gonna get an interview for him.
Yeah, I gotta holler at him, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, all right. So we're gonna be interviewing Brian Maxwell. Maybe he'll sit in and do a fight card breakdown with us. I know he's getting back in the MMA world. I did shout him out earlier because his former opponent, Chad Ochocinco, called out Izzy, and I thought that was hilarious. So I can't wait to get his thoughts on that. NBA playoffs are going on right now, playing tournament. You can catch the Not Move podcast, breaking all that stuff down with the dribble coming up next at 9 o'clock. Stay not moved, people. Peace out.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.